the memory, generally represented as RAM. 2, the processor speed, generally represented by CPU, central processing unit. And then the storage, generally represented as it will be HDD, but HDD is no longer popular. That technology is called SSD, right? When here, SSD storage. So the point I'm making here is, in order to tell me about the computer, you must refer to these three things. These three things are called the system resources. So you don't tell me about the computer by telling me its color or how high it is on the from the floor or what year it was manufactured. Those are not relevant. What is relevant for me to determine how powerful computer is tell me about the memory, tell me about the processor, and tell me about the storage. So that's why when we are describing a computer, we just say 46 meg RAM, for example, 100 gig SSD, and then we just say maybe processor i7 or i9 or something. With these three, especially with this first two, I'm able to tell you, oh, that is a powerful. I can tell you a lot about that computer just by these three, right? So these are called system resources, right? The memory, the processor speed, and the storage of that computer will tell me about it. Now, when you switch off, when you terminate a computer, all these three resources are shut down and they don't exist anymore. So you are charged $0 or $0. But when you do not terminate, what was the other word? What was I trying to explain?
Stop.
Yes. When you stop without terminating, everything in memory is gone. The processor is not working, but the content that computer was processing or that it had last is stored in the storage. So you'll be charged. Any resource at all that you leave on in cloud, you'll be charged for it. So when you stop the instance, the memory is not in use, the processor is not working, but something is stored in the storage. And therefore, because you are using the storage, you'll be charged for it. So the answer to that question is, when you terminate, it's actually a certification question. When you terminate an instance, you are not charged anything. But when you stop an instance, you are still being charged for the use of the storage. Does that answer the question? You don't have questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's go back now. Yeah. So let's come here. Let's delete this. Let's terminate these ones, these two, so that I can have one and then we can study the one for them. We'll go to instance. You know what reboot means? Reboot means start the instance all over again. Sometimes your instance is misbehaving. You give it a command, it's not doing it right. Just restart it. We already know what stop is. But this time we don't want to stop so that we are not charged for storage. We want to terminate. So we just terminate. Terminate those two instances. Yeah. And then successfully terminate. All right. AWS is so fast these days. So let's refresh. All right. Beautiful. So we have only one and we terminated the extract. So let's take this one. Now look at this place. You see these instance properties, the details, the security, the networking, the storage, the check, the monitors, the tasks, everything about this particular instance that we just, and it's very important. All right. So let us go and look at the credentials, the details of this instance called added. As a matter of fact, we can rename it. We can change the name from added to server 3 and save it. All right. So right now it's running. It's a T2 mine. So if we scroll down, we'll get the properties of that server. Details. Okay. So let me just scroll gradually. All right. Okay. I wanted it to go slowly. So, okay. So under details now, since I can't get the details, we have the instance ID. We have the public IP address of that instance. And IP addresses are unique. We'll talk more about them. We have the private IP address. Let's scroll down. And then we have the IP version 6. It has no IP version 6. What is the state of the instance? It's a running state. The public IP version 4 DNS. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Maybe today. So basically, I'm saying that all the properties about that server, how big is it? What kind of server is it? What is the name? Everything is under here, right? The instance type, T2. So your supervisor can say, why are you wasting money? T2 is too much for this. Why don't you do, everything about that instance is here. Automatically assigned IP address is there. The VPC, like somebody mentioned, even though we have not done it, the ID of the VPC that it belongs to is there. The IAM role, all of the property, including even the key pair, in case you forgot the name, that we assigned to this instance so that we can use it to SSH to it, all of them. All right. Again, all of this may not make sense from the very beginning, but just know that in case you need any of these properties, this is where to come and look for them. But the one that will make sense almost right away is the public IP address. As far as security is concerned, is also there. The security properties of that EC2, look at them, all right? And then the networking parameters, credentials, they are all in, right? Cloud is so wide. And then what storage is attached to this computer? The storage capacity attached to this computer, you will find here. 8 GB, all right, attached, all right? So, and then, and so on and so forth. Status check, also important. Monitoring, what? Just the task. All right, so most of the time, everything you want to see, you will see under details. Awesome. So the next thing we want to do now, let's work a little with, okay, let me bring up the manual. I've not seen the manual anymore. Are you seeing my Word document?
No.
So let's, let me share. See, you cannot see my Word document. Let me share my Word. Share. All right. Can you see my Word document now?
Yes.
All right. So this is what we'll follow now. Let's follow this. So we already defined what regions are, what data centers are in previous classes, availability zones. I've not explained what availability zones. So let's explain that one because AWS expects you to know what is this. So we said that the AWS footprint is divided into what? Into regions. But a region is not just the way regions are planned is like this. A region will not just be one rigid region like that, or there are another region like this, there are another region like this. No, that's not how regions are built. How regions are built is that there will be a data center here, and then there will be another data center, and then there will be another data center. So this data center may be a replica. So data center B may be a replica of data center A, so that in the event of earthquake or any other disaster that eliminates this, that removes this completely and knocks this data center out of the network, then this data center can still continue to function even while this one is up, because everything here was backed up to this place. And this is the reason we say that cloud has very high reliability, that even when an entire data center goes down, you will not lose what you have in that data center, because all the while, everything you had here was being backed up through this fiber network to this other data center. And it will be designed and run in such a way that C, even though we have its own original traffic, can still serve as backup for this other two. So what I'm just trying to say in one word is that these three are arranged and networked together in such a way that one is backing up for the other one. So this arrangement of all of these data centers in such a way that the unavailability of one does not necessarily mean unavailability of your data. Your data could still be here. It's called availability zone. So availability zone, this is how they are arranged.